Did you know that while you sleep peacefully thinking your body is recovering and regenerating, your muscles may actually be slowly and silently disappearing? It may seem incredible, but it's a reality millions of people over 50 face every night without realizing it. Imagine waking up one day and discovering that you can no longer easily get up from your favorite chair, or that climbing the stairs has become an insurmountable obstacle. For many men and women, it's not just a fear, but a new daily condition that progressively limits their independence. Studies show that after age 50, you lose between 1 and 2% of your muscle mass each year. This percentage may seem small, but over the course of a decade, it equates to a dramatic reduction in strength and range of motion. And what's even more surprising is that most of this loss doesn't occur during the day when you're moving and performing daily activities, but rather at night when you think you're recovering. Over the years of my clinical experience with older patients, I've seen this condition, known as sarcopenia, become the silent thief of vitality and independence. I remember well a woman, Lorena, 67, who came into my office with tears in her eyes. She said to me, "Until a year ago, I could carry the shopping bags by myself. Now my 12-year-old nephew has to help me. I don't understand what's happening to me." Lorena didn't know it, but every night, while she slept, her body was burning away her own muscles like fuel. It was as if an invisible thief had entered her house and sapped her strength little by little, night after night. The good news is that this isn't an inevitable fate. Just like Lorena, who today regained strength and confidence in her movements, you too can reverse this process. There's a common food, one you probably already have in your refrigerator, that can stop and even reverse nighttime muscle loss. I'll tell you what it is shortly, but first you need to understand why your body betrays your muscles while you sleep. Before continuing, I'd like to ask you for a small gesture. If this topic resonates with you and you want to take charge of your health and independence, please like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming content. And as a personal commitment, write this motivational quote in the comments. "I will not lose my strength." It's a simple way to tell yourself that you're choosing to protect your muscles and your vitality. Sarcopenia isn't just getting old. It's a real clinical condition that affects approximately 1 in 3 people over the age of 60. But what's even more remarkable is that it's preventable and even reversible if you know the right strategies. Try to think of muscle mass as a bank account. In the first 30 years of life, we continually make deposits. Muscles grow, become strong, and support us. After 30, however, we slowly begin to make more withdrawals than deposits. And after 50, the rate of this loss accelerates dramatically. It's estimated that between the ages of 30 and 50, we lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade. But after 50, the rate increases exponentially. And there's a detail that almost no one knows. The largest part of this loss occurs not during the day, but during sleep. As I delved deeper into my research, I discovered a mechanism that radically changed my view of sleep and muscle metabolism. Between dinner and breakfast, in those 10 to 12 hours we think we dedicate solely to rest, the body makes crucial decisions, whether to maintain or sacrifice part of our muscle mass. Recent studies have revealed that during an overnight fast, a mature adult can lose up to 40 grams of muscle protein in a single night. It's as if every time we sleep, we leave a small piece of our strength on the bedside table without realizing it. But why does this happen? 3 hours after the last meal, the body exhausts the amino acid stores available in the blood. Amino acids are the building blocks of muscle. When they're gone, the body must choose, either stop vital processes or dismantle existing tissue to obtain what it needs. Naturally, it chooses the latter. During deep sleep, especially between 2 and 6 a.m., the body enters a phase called catabolism. It begins to break down muscle tissue to recover amino acids for fuel. It's as if, in order to maintain vital functions, it decided to demolish parts of its house to make bricks. Night after night, this cycle of destruction gradually weakens muscles. However, there is a precise moment, a window that most people ignore, capable of transforming those same hours of sleep from a time of loss to a time of rebuilding and strengthening. It's the key that has allowed many of my patients to reverse course and return to life with more strength. First, however, it's important to recognize the early signs of this condition. Sarcopenia is insidious. It doesn't appear overnight. It's like a small water leak that slowly damages the foundations, eventually causing the wall to collapse. The first warning signs may include increased difficulty climbing stairs, needing more momentum to get up from a chair, or the feeling that your shopping bags are heavier than usual. Sometimes you may also notice that your pants are looser at the thighs but tighter at the waist, a sign that muscle is decreasing while abdominal fat is increasing. And here comes the inevitable question. Why doesn't anyone warn us? Why don't many doctors warn their patients about nighttime muscle loss? The answers aren't reassuring. First, traditional medicine tends to focus on treating acute illnesses rather than preventing the progressive loss of quality of life. Sarcopenia, in fact, doesn't kill suddenly like a heart attack, but rather wears you down slowly, and for this reason it's often underestimated. It's like ignoring a small crack in the roof until the whole house collapses. Second, there's what I call a conspiracy of silence tied to the food industry. For decades, we've been told that we shouldn't eat in the evening, that evening meals make us fat, and that fasting is the key to health. These beliefs have made it easier to sell crash diets, expensive supplements, or weight loss products, rather than teaching people how to properly nourish their muscles with simple, readily available foods. How many times have you heard, "Don't eat after 6 p.m." or "Breakfast is the most important meal of the day"? These slogans, repeated endlessly, have become accepted as absolute truths. But the truth is that behind them lie enormous interests and very little real information about the physiology of muscle aging. Yet science tells a different story. Serious studies demonstrate that the body doesn't stop metabolizing based on the clock, but rather based on what we feed it. It's not the time of day that matters. It's the quality and quantity of what we consume that counts. And that's where the secret I'll reveal to you shortly comes in. A nutrient capable of fueling muscles all night long, protecting them from catabolism. But first, let me show you in detail what actually happens to the body during sleep. When we fall asleep, we think our bodies go on hiatus, as if they're shutting down for a few hours. In reality, this isn't the case at all. Sleep is a period of intense biological activity. The brain reprocesses memories, cells are repaired, the immune system strengthens, and the metabolism makes crucial decisions. And it is precisely in these hours that our muscles find themselves at a crossroads, rebuild themselves or be dismantled. During the first few hours of rest, the body primarily uses glycogen, the sugar reserves stored in the muscles and liver. This fuel is sufficient to maintain vital functions without damaging muscle tissue. But after 4 or 6 hours, these reserves begin to deplete dramatically. It is at this point that the body is forced to choose between using fat or muscle as an energy source. The problem is that, especially after age 50, the metabolism becomes less efficient at using fat. It's like having an older engine that uses more fuel for the same amount of work. Thus, the body's quickest and most economical way becomes to break down muscle proteins and convert them into energy. This is why many mature adults wake up weaker than they went to sleep. A recent study showed that in older adults, the rate at which the body enters muscle catabolism during an overnight fast can be up to 40% higher than in younger people. In other words, the older you get, the more vulnerable your muscles become at night. But all is not lost. In fact, here comes the discovery that has revolutionized the way I work with patients. A few years ago, a group of Harvard researchers identified a very particular time window that we now call the anabolic nighttime window. Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., the body experiences a natural surge in anabolic hormones, such as growth hormone and IGF-1. These hormones are primarily responsible for building and repairing muscle. Imagine having a team of builders ready to rebuild your house, but without bricks. If you don't provide amino acids at that moment, the body can't build anything. So the builders do what they can. They dismantle parts of the house to obtain materials that can be reused. Now imagine the opposite scenario, supplying your body with the right amino acids right through that window. The builders, finally equipped with bricks, work all night to reinforce the walls of the house instead of destroying them. The result? Not only do you avoid muscle loss, but you can actually gain mass and strength while you sleep. This finding was confirmed in a 6-month study of over 100 adults over 60. Half of the participants consumed protein before bed, while the other half followed traditional recommendations, meaning no food in the evening. After 6 months, those who had supplemented with nighttime protein had not only not lost muscle mass, but had gained an average of 2.3 kilos. This extraordinary result was achieved without expensive gyms or complicated supplements, but simply by choosing what to eat before bed. Of course, not all proteins are created equal. Rapidly absorbed proteins, such as those found in white meat or whey powder, are digested and absorbed within an hour or two, leaving the body once again depleted of amino acids. A protein capable of releasing its nutrients slowly throughout the night was needed. And this is where the real secret that has changed the lives of so many of my patients comes in. Casein. Before revealing how to take advantage of it, however, I want to show you the factors that accelerate nighttime muscle loss. Because if you don't address these factors, even the best nutritional strategy risks yielding limited results. The 3 hidden enemies of your muscles. The first is chronic stress. When we live under pressure, the body constantly produces cortisol, the stress hormone. This hormone is a powerful catabolic. It tells the body to use muscle protein as a quick energy source. Normally, cortisol levels drop at night to allow the body to rest. But those who are chronically stressed maintain elevated levels even during sleep, amplifying muscle loss. The second enemy is some common medications. Many adults over 60 take blood pressure medications, antidepressants, or cholesterol-lowering drugs. Some of these can interfere with protein synthesis or increase muscle breakdown. This doesn't mean they should be discontinued, but it's essential to be aware that they could be contributing to the problem, so you can discuss them with your doctor and explore options. The third enemy, surprising to many, is restrictive diets. Often, in an attempt to control weight, many people drastically reduce their protein intake. It's like trying to build a house by limiting the amount of bricks you throw at it. Inevitably, the walls collapse. In reality, mature adults need more protein than younger adults, not less. It's a concept called anabolic resistance. As we age, we need more amino acids to achieve the same muscle-building effect. False myths to be debunked. To truly understand how to protect your muscles, we must first demolish some beliefs that have been circulating for decades. Myth 1. Don't eat after 6 p.m., otherwise you'll gain weight. This is perhaps the most destructive advice for those over 60. Metabolism doesn't have a wristwatch. What matters is not the time, but the quality of the food. A slow protein consumed before bed doesn't make you gain weight. In fact, it increases energy expenditure during the night and speeds up your metabolism. Myth 2. Eating protein in the evening puts strain on the kidneys. This fear stems from old, now outdated studies. Unless you suffer from serious kidney disease, Adequate amounts of protein not only do no harm, but actually help reduce the toxic byproducts of muscle breakdown. Myth 3. Older adults need less protein. It's the opposite. The older you get, the more you need to increase your protein intake. Failure to do so will lead to sarcopenia in your muscles. These endlessly repeated myths have convinced millions of people to deprive themselves of the very nutrient that could have protected them. It's time to overturn this logic and provide muscles with what they need at the right time. And here's the revelation. There's a common, accessible food that acts as a true nighttime shield for your muscles. A special protein that doesn't burn quickly, but releases its amino acids slowly for 6 to 8 hours straight. While you sleep, it becomes a kind of natural IV that nourishes your muscles continuously. This food is called casein. You probably already have it at home as it's found in milk, yogurt, and cheese. But there's a specific way to make the most of it, transforming sleep from a time of loss to a time of growth. In the next section, I'll explain why casein is so different from other proteins, how to introduce it into your evening routine, and which combinations enhance its effects. Casein is a special protein, unlike any other. While common proteins, such as those found in meat or whey, are digested and absorbed within an hour or two, casein has a unique behavior. It releases slowly, like a sort of continuous infusion, nourishing the muscles throughout the night. To better understand, imagine lighting a fire. If you use only paper or small twigs, the flame flares up quickly but dies out within minutes. If you add large logs, they burn slowly and maintain the heat for hours. Casein is just like those logs. It burns slowly and ensures a constant flow of amino acids to the muscles. When it reaches the stomach, it forms a sort of gel that slows gastric emptying and allows a gradual release of amino acids into the blood. This means that while you sleep, your muscles receive a continuous supply of the essential building blocks for their repair. It's like having a night drip that prevents the body from dismantling existing tissue. Studies show that those who take casein before bed not only prevent muscle loss, but also stimulate 20 to 25% higher nighttime protein synthesis compared to those who go to bed fasting. In other words, you're not just protecting your muscles, you're rebuilding them. Where is casein found? The good news is that you don't need expensive supplements. Casein is naturally present in foods you probably already have in your refrigerator. Fresh cheese, such as cottage cheese or compact cow's milk, ricotta. This is the most concentrated source of casein. A large cup provides about 25 to 28 grams of this protein. Plain Greek yogurt. An excellent alternative. It contains about 15-20 grams of casein per serving. The key is to choose plain, without added sugar, because sugar can interfere with the slow release of the protein. Whole or semi-skimmed milk contains approximately 80% casein and 20% whey protein. A glass of warm milk before bed is not only a reassuring ritual, but a true ally for your muscles. Other natural dairy products. Some aged cheeses contain casein, but the concentration of fat and salt makes them less suitable for evening consumption. It's better to opt for fresh, light versions. These foods, besides being readily available, have the added benefit of being pleasant to the taste. Many of my patients have included them in their evening ritual and have discovered that they not only help maintain muscle mass, but also improve the quality of their sleep. How to combine it to enhance its effects? Casein alone is incredibly powerful, but when combined with certain foods, it can triple the benefits. I call it the nighttime synergy effect. Nuts, walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts. Small amounts, 6 to 8 walnuts or 10-12 almonds, add magnesium and natural melatonin, promoting relaxation and improving sleep quality. They also contain arginine, an amino acid that stimulates nitric oxide production, improving circulation and thus the delivery of amino acids to the muscles. Chia, or flax seeds. Added to Greek yogurt, they form a pudding-like consistency. They provide fiber, omega-3s, and improve satiety. Raw honey in very small quantities, just 1 teaspoon. It may seem strange to add sugar, but a small increase in insulin helps amino acids enter muscle cells. The key is quantity. A teaspoon is therapeutic. More is counterproductive. Spices like cinnamon or natural vanilla. They're not just for flavor. Cinnamon stabilizes blood sugar levels and has anti-inflammatory properties, while vanilla enhances flavor perception, making the evening ritual even more enjoyable. Bedtime recipes. To make all this practical, I'm sharing some simple combinations that I've recommended to many of my patients and that have transformed their nights. 1. The champion pudding. 1 cup of cottage cheese. 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. 6 chopped walnuts. 1 teaspoon of raw honey. A pinch of cinnamon. Let it rest for 10 minutes and you will get a thick, nutritious, and delicious cream. 2. The night milkshake. 3/4 cup Greek yogurt. 1/4 cup milk. 1 tablespoon almond butter. Half a ripe banana. A drop of vanilla extract. Blend it all together. A creamy drink that works for you while you sleep. 3. The warm and reassuring ritual. 1 glass of warm milk. 1 teaspoon raw honey. 1 pinch of cinnamon, a grating of nutmeg, a classic that not only nourishes the muscles, but promotes relaxation and deep sleep. The cream for those suffering from high blood sugar. 3/4 cup Greek yogurt. 1 tablespoon ground flax seeds. 10 chopped almonds, a few drops of vanilla extract. No added sugar, rich in fiber, perfect for those who need to monitor their blood sugar. The secret of bodybuilders. 1 cup of cottage cheese. 1 tablespoon of bitter cocoa powder. 1 teaspoon natural peanut butter. 5 almonds, a pinch of sea salt. This combination not only nourishes the muscles, but reduces night cramps and improves protein synthesis. Timing is everything. A key detail is when to take casein. The best time is about 1–2 hours before bedtime. Too close to bedtime could cause slow digestion or reflux, while too late could reduce the nighttime release effect. Amount also matters. Generally, 25 grams of casein is sufficient for those weighing less than 70 kilos. Those weighing over 80 kilos can consume up to 35 to 40 grams. Exceeding these doses is pointless because the body can't absorb more and the excess is converted into sugar. The night construction effect. Many of my patients who have adopted this simple ritual have noticed results within a few weeks. Greater strength upon awakening, less muscle pain, more energy throughout the day. Some, like Roberto, 65, have told me, "I never thought a glass of milk and a little Greek yogurt in the evening could make such a difference. In 3 months, I started gardening again and even carried my shopping bags without any trouble." Casein, in fact, transforms sleep into a reconstruction laboratory. It's the time when muscles are not only no longer dismantled, but regenerated. In the next section, I'll explain the complete 21-day protocol, along with lifestyle tips to complement casein to maximize its effects, and the most common mistakes that negate results. Now that you understand the role of casein and the best ways to consume it, I want to show you how to transform this simple strategy into a true 21-day protocol capable of restoring strength and vitality. Because it's not enough to simply add a single food. You also need to adopt some habits that multiply its effectiveness. The 21-day protocol. Many of my patients have followed it and noticed tangible changes as early as the 2nd week. It's not complicated or impossible to maintain. They're small daily steps that become a self-care ritual. 1. The right dose of casein every night. As we've seen, the ideal amount is 25–30 grams, depending on weight. The rule of thumb is Under 70 kilo, 25 gri. Between 70 and 80 kilos, 30 grams. Above 80 kilograms, 35-40 gram. You can make it with a large cup of cottage cheese or with a combination of Greek yogurt and a glass of milk. 2. The perfect time. Consumption should be 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. This ensures that initial digestion is initiated, avoiding nighttime discomfort, but that the slow release of amino acids continues throughout the night. 3. The winning combination. Don't limit yourself to casein alone. Combine it with small amounts of nuts, seeds, or spices to create a nighttime synergy. Remember, moderation is key. Too many nuts or too much sugary fruit can slow digestion or create unwanted blood sugar spikes. 4. Supplement with light resistance exercises. You don't need a gym. Just 15 minutes 3 times a week is enough to stimulate protein synthesis. Some examples I always recommend. Chair squats. Sit down and slowly stand up 10 to 15 times. Wall push-ups. 10-20 push-ups against the wall. Heel raises. Stand and raise yourself on your toes 15-20 times. Resistance bands. Easy to use, they allow you to strengthen your arms and shoulders. These exercises not only stimulate your muscles, but also make the casein taken in the evening even more effective. It's like telling your body, here are the bricks, but remember that tomorrow you'll need them to strengthen these walls. 5. Take care of your sleep. Quality sleep is crucial. If you sleep less than 6 hours, nighttime protein synthesis can decrease by 50%, even if you've consumed adequate casein. Therefore, keep your bedroom cool, 18-20 degrees, dark, and quiet. Avoid bright screens an hour before bed. Stay hydrated during the day, but reduce fluid intake in the 2 hours before bed to avoid having to wake up frequently. The most common mistakes. Many people, even in good faith, make mistakes that undermine all their progress. I'll list the 4 main ones. Mistake 1. Overdoing it with sugars and sweet fruits. Adding too much honey, bananas, or artificial sweeteners compromises glycemic stability and reduces nighttime benefits. Mistake 2. Thinking that more is better. Exceeding 40 calories of protein in a single serving is pointless. Excess protein doesn't convert into muscle, but into glucose or fat. Mistake 3. Getting the timing wrong. Eating immediately before bed can cause reflux and heavy digestion. Taking casein too soon, more than 3 hours before, reduces its effectiveness overnight. Error 4. The wrong combination. Many, following old dietary advice, combine dairy products with acidic fruits, pineapple, strawberries, citrus fruits. This accelerates the digestion of casein, negating the slow release effect. The concrete results. The changes I've seen in my patients are astonishing. We're not just talking about stronger muscles, but a true regaining of independence. Maria, 72 years old. After 3 months of protocol, she started gardening again, an activity she had abandoned because she got tired quickly. Roberto, 65 years old. He had difficulty carrying shopping bags. After 8 weeks, he reported being able to lift them easily and with greater stability. Elena, 69 years old. She suffered from frequent falls due to loss of balance. With the protocol, she has regained muscle mass and walking confidence. These are not miracles, but simple consequences of a body finally receiving what it needs. Why this all works? The logic is simple. If the body must constantly choose between demolishing and building, we must give it the conditions to choose construction. Casein provides the bricks, exercise shows where to place them, and good sleep creates the perfect construction site. It's a strategy that combines nutrition, exercise, and recovery. These aren't magic pills, but a physiological approach in harmony with the body's natural rhythm. The new perspective. What I want to convey to you is a clear message. Muscle loss is not an inevitable fate. It's not old age that condemns us, but ignorance of the right strategies. Now you have a simple yet powerful tool in your hands. Transform your nights into a time of reconstruction rather than destruction. Think about how your life would change if you woke up every morning not feeling weaker, but a little stronger than the day before. This is what science allows us to do when we stop ignoring signals and start providing our bodies with what they truly need. Before I wrap up, I want to ask you for a small gesture. If you found this content useful and think it could help others, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. And if you'd like to support our work and allow us to continue creating content like this, you can use the Super Thank You feature right under the video. Every contribution is a valuable help. We began by discussing a silent thief that steals our strength and independence every night. We learned that this thief has a name, sarcopenia, and that it strikes especially during sleep. We discovered that with a simple food like casein and a few small daily adjustments, it's possible to transform the night from an enemy into a powerful ally. Now the choice is in your hands. You can let time and bad habits continue to weaken you, or you can start building your strength today. Remember, every night can be an opportunity for growth, not a loss. There's no better time to start. Don't waste your strength. Protect it, nourish it, build it. Because a strong body means freedom, independence, and quality of life.